Planning and Prepping a Speech, a brief overview to good presenting, created by Moxel Dale. Planning your speech. Let's say you've been given the task of presenting a topic, any topic. How do you go about planning that speech? First off, what makes a good speech? Well, for good speech, it has to be appropriate. That means it should be appropriately structured, with coherency and purpose. It should contain appropriate language for the occasion. It should utilize appropriate timing for added effect and to help in pacing. It should include appropriate examples and facts, which is to say that not only does the content need to be appropriate, but it also needs to be sourced appropriately. And of course, if you choose the topic should be appropriate for the audience. This, of course, then begs an answer for the question, what is appropriate? For most cases, we can use a generalized set of questions to answer this. First, who is the audience? Is it peers, friends or family, bosses, co-workers, students, etc.? Second, what is the occasion? Is it formal, informal, or somewhere in between? And third, how do you want to present yourself and your topic? Do you want it to be serious, argumentative, informative, comedical, or something else? And as obvious as this may sound, as always, a good rule of thumb is, use common sense, and if you aren't sure, ask someone who could actually help you, a peer, a mentor, or someone else. With all this in mind, you can now begin to actually piece together your speech. Of course, this is just a basic outline, but it covers the essential to the content you will need to have for your actual speech. To begin with, you should always keep your audience in mind. The speech is devoted to them, so it should be geared towards them and their interests, not yours, though sometimes they might align. You'll also need background information on your topic. Even if you know a lot, you'll likely want to reference outside sources to back up your claims and strengthen what you are trying to convey. Then, of course, you will want to condense your information that you have. If you are truly preparing or truly a master of your topic, you could probably drone on and on, but that would be extremely ineffective. Keep only what you need for maximum impact. Finally, organize what you have into a logical ordering and progress from one point you have to another. Again, keep in mind that these steps don't necessarily need to happen in order, and aren't looked at only one time. An effective speech will recursively refine these four components to achieve maximum desired impact. With the ideas in our speech now worked out, you can move on to the more typically difficult portion of the speech, prepping for actually giving the speech. Of course, practicing presenting is the main way that you can prep for giving a speech, and in an effort to keep the audience engaged and interested, there are three main things to look for. The first is voice, your tone and volume. The second is eye contact, which should be comfortable, and you should look around the room at each audience member, but not for too long. And of course, your body language, how you stand, if you're fidgeting, where your hands are, etc. And of course, to actually see this, try one or more of the following three things. You should practice in front of a mirror, practice while recording yourself and then look at the recording, or practice with a group of friends or a friend and ask for their feedback. Another three things to keep in mind apart from appearance is how you mentally prepare yourself. It is quite normal to be nervous, but these three tips should help alleviate your nerves, especially after you begin speaking. The first is act natural. How others perceive you is based on how you act and react. At first this may seem hard to control your emotions, but if you keep an open mind and think about acting no differently than your usual self, this should come fairly easily after a bit. Second is engage. Engage your audience. Think of this as an icebreaker. It helps break the tension and keep the audience involved and interested. And finally, be confident. If you psych yourself out by telling yourself negative things, nerves and pressure will negatively impact your speech. It's okay to mess up. Just keep moving and don't worry. Ultimately, speeches can be broken down into three distinct steps: plan, prep, present. And as with anything, with an appropriate level of effort, anyone can give an effective speech.